Welcome to Open Book, a podcast of Roanoke City Public Schools. I'm Dr. Verlita White, the proud superintendent of Roanoke City Public Schools and your host for Open Book. We are so excited to be launching this podcast as an additional way for you, our students, family, staff, and the entire Roanoke community to gain insight into what makes RCPS unique, how decisions are made, and other timely topics of interest. Each of our episodes will include a longer interview with students, staff, experts, or community partners, short rotating segments about diverse topics such as counseling and PTA news, and Parent Guardian University, where we'll cover practical topics and support for families. In this first episode, we are going to highlight college and career readiness. We will also talk with our adult education partners, and we will learn some helpful tips regarding college applications and applying for financial aid. But first, in Roanoke City Public Schools, we are making sure our students graduate with both a diploma and a rich resume of skills and experiences that will benefit them for a lifetime. Joining me today are our Assistant Superintendent of Student Services, Mrs. Hayley Poland, and our Director of Career and Technical Education, Kathy Duncan. Mrs. Poland, Miss Duncan, welcome to our first episode of Open Book. You are our first guest, and so I'm just so happy to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. White.
There's so much that we could talk about when it comes to preparing our students for college and the workforce. But today, I really want us to dig into the opportunities available for students right now while they're in school to prepare for college and the workforce. Top of mind right now, for instance, many of us now understand the Charles W. Day Technical Education Center, which will open in January adjacent to William Fleming High School in the former Ruffner Middle School. We're excited about that. I know that you're excited about that, and many of our community members know about it. And they also know, and I hope that they know, that we are doubling our seat capacity for career and technical education. And this is because when I first started in 2020, one of the first things I did was embark on a listening tour. I walked through neighborhoods and heard from our community that there was inequity when it came to our career and technical education classes. Students at William Fleming, for instance, had to take an extra class period or give up an elective if they wanted to take classes at the Roanoke Technical Education Center, which is where most of our CTE classes were held, correct?
That's absolutely correct.
So we are now doubling our CTE seat capacity, adding 6 additional pathways to include programs that I'm so excited about, like heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. So those HVAC programs, innovative public safety, landscaping, barbering, criminal justice, and coding, and cybersecurity. I mean, the list goes on, right? And so I do think that these are exciting times for our students. But Ms. Duncan, let me start with you. Mm-hmm. Can you please just talk about how our students have begun their programming, and how's it going so far?
Well, it's going absolutely fantastic, and I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you, Mrs. White. Thank you to the school board for seeing this vision of the Charles W. Day Technical Center. It's opening up equal opportunity, equal access for our students, and it's going really well. We have a large number of William Fleming students already enrolled in programs, and they just cannot wait to get into the new building at what we're calling Day Tech on the campus of William Fleming High School.
Wonderful, wonderful. I know you're excited. I see the excitement all over you every time I see you, and you know how I feel about it. And I believe our parents are excited too. In my travels, everyone talks about how excited they are for our students to take these pathways, because it gives them hands-on experience and life skills that they can carry with them. These are portable credentials, industry credentials, that they'll be able to take with them wherever they choose to go. So we're really excited about that. So let me just ask you a question, Ms. Duncan. Why do students benefit from enrolling in career and technical education classes?
Well, career and technical education prepares them for not only careers, college readiness, but for life.
Yeah.
The skills that they learn, problem solving, teamwork, dependability, all of those are solid foundational skills that everyone needs to be successful. So that in and of itself is wonderful. Then you build on that, where each program can spark a student to have something for the future, to have a career that is solid, where they can make good money and have benefits to support families and move forward. And what we have found is if a student spends just 2 years in any one of our programs, we've got about a 98% graduation rate.
Yes.
So the students are loving it. They're being successful. They're coming back later, being employed. Many of our Teachers for Tomorrow students are employed by Roanoke City Public Schools, and we have some that'll be coming back to us soon.
Well, so to that end, one of the benefits of CTE classes is the ability to earn a credential, just like you said. So how does this benefit students when they graduate? And I think you touched on this a bit, whether they want to go directly into the workforce or if they do want to attend college. And I'll ask this of both of you.
Well, the credentials, most of which are nationally recognized, employers see those as students having a leg up, those additional skills. So if they're going into the world of employment and they have welding certifications, that will mean a higher starting pay, perhaps more responsibility. What we've seen in our college-bound 4-year graduates from CTE is if they have things like the Microsoft certifications or financial literacy certifications, and they're doing work-study programs at the college level, they too will make more money because they're more skilled. So it benefits everyone in the long run, those stackable skills. And many of our students graduate with a number of credentials under their belts, and they come back saying, what a wonderful opportunity that it was, and they were given opportunities to go into leadership positions earlier.
I do believe that this is building in those leadership skills as well. That's a fantastic point.
We also know that our students use those credentials and their experiences to give them that head start in college. Sometimes it can help them increase, where they start out, especially if they're going through our community college access program at Virginia Western. They can even earn further credentials and further industry certifications to make sure that they are prepared for whatever job or career that they are wanting. Same thing if they're going into a 2-year program or a 4-year program. Those credentials can really help them get that leg up on their competition. Absolutely. And even open the door for some scholarships for our students.
And so many of our courses in career and technical are offered for dual enrollment. So not only are they graduating with a diploma and a resume rich with skills and credentials, but they're starting out with a college transcript already as well.
That's right. Fantastic. So I know that a lot of people may be listening and they're wondering, all right, so how do we enroll and how do I sign up for this? So Mrs. Poland, why don't you just tell how do if parents or students are listening to this and they want to enroll in classes, how might they go about that?
This is the perfect time of year. We are preparing across our division in elementary school for those rising 6th graders all through middle school and in our high schools. So in December and January is really where we start that conversation. We start with our academic and career plan portfolio. We start with career lessons. Then we move into those scheduling conversations about what do you want to take? What experiences do you have or do you want to have? And looking at different career opportunities and making sure that our colleges and our universities, those courses that our students take now, that they will prepare them for their next phase of life. So make sure that you're talking to your school counselor, that you're participating in those college and career lessons, and that you're completing your academic and career plan portfolio. And we want our families to engage in that as well. So we have welcome nights and rising 6th grade parent nights and rising 9th grade parent nights and elective fairs. All of those things are coming up in December and January. So we really want you to touch base with your school and talk with your school counselor about registration.
Well, and I do want our parents and community members to know that in the Roanoke Valley, we have several low or no-cost opportunities for students who are interested in attending college, such as Virginia Western's Community College Access Program, which is what we call CCAP, and Hollins University's Hope Scholarship. I mean, talk a little bit more about those low or no-cost options for our students.
Yeah, we work directly with our students and with our 2- and 4-year partners, university partners, to make sure that our students have all barriers possibly removed. So we work with them on FAFSA to complete that free application for financial aid financial scholarships and aid. But we work directly with RoTech, the partners that we have with Virginia Western. So our students don't necessarily have to go into a 2-year degree seeking program for CCAP. They can enter into a welding program or getting a master certification in automotive, anything through the workforce development and career program at Virginia Western, but those courses also transfer and they translate into a 4-year university. We also bring in folks like Roanoke College and Hollins University and Ferrum to make sure our students know those opportunities where they can go to school almost for free. So we will support and work with the financial aid offices at the 2- and 4-year universities to bridge that gap and to give them additional information.
I was going to say, if I'm a parent listening and I want additional information, for instance, I need to know the requirements for my kids to qualify for this kind of low or no cost option, where do I turn if I need additional information?
Start with your school counselor. Your child's school counselor is that first person. And really, we as school counselors, we work to build and to bridge those gaps and to assist with the college applications, with doing resume building, with creating maybe it's an essay writing, but also working with that financial aid piece. And we do have some really great opportunities coming up even October and November for college application weeks. And so please make sure that you're checking out our website on the Roanoke City Public Schools page and also our social media. We push things out, and so we want to make sure that you know, but please make sure that you're checking early and often to our websites and especially to your school counseling pages.
Fantastic. Thank you to both of you. What a wonderful, just really chock full of information, a lot of information there. So we're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, joining me will be Leah DeCosta, Regional Program Manager for Region 5 Adult Education. She will talk with us about the opportunities available for adult learners. I'm Verlita White, and you're listening to Open Book. Welcome back to Open Book. I'm Verlita White, Superintendent of Roanoke City Public Schools, and with me is Leah DeCosta, the Regional Program Manager for the Roanoke Valley Allegheny Region 5 Adult Education Program, which also serves the city of Roanoke. Ms. DeCosta, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited to be here.
I'm always excited to talk about extending learning opportunities, not only for our students, but also for adults in the region. It's important, I think, that to never stop learning, so no matter what age. So adult education, correct me if I'm wrong, is a program that provides anyone who is 18 or older and no longer enrolled in high school with the opportunity to earn a GED, correct?
Yes, we do provide the opportunity for a GED. We also have an adult high school diploma program. They're very separate, but they both end in a high school equivalency.
And also for adults who may want to, who might have English as their second language, who want to learn English?
Correct. We have a large population in Roanoke, and we have a lot of classes in Roanoke City and across the Roanoke Valley for adult students that need help with their English.
So can you just tell us a little bit about adult education's mission and how you support learners of all ages?
Absolutely. We are a program under the Department of Education, so our primary goal is education, of course. It is also, our end goal is to help our adult students earn family-sustaining wages, increase their employment opportunities, their continuing education opportunities, become better citizens in their communities, and better role models for their families and communities.
Excellent. What about workforce development?
Absolutely important. We have some programs, and we are excited to partner more with Roanoke City Schools to see what else we can offer for adult students who are seeking industry-recognized credentials to increase their employment opportunities.
Excellent. I just believe that when you support the adults in the family, we naturally also support the children who are in the family. So it's important for all of us to support our communities by supporting our students, but also adult learners. So just talk to us a little bit about what should prospective students know if they are eligible. So what do they need to know about eligibility, and who do you think should think about taking these classes?
Anyone over the age of 18, and in some special cases 16 to 18, are eligible to join our program. We do an intake assessment, and depending on the program they're interested in, that's going to give us an idea of their skills, and that opens the door for any student. They do not only have to be seeking a high school credential. We can accept folks who maybe have a high school diploma or a GED already and would like to brush up on their math, for instance, to take and pass a CDL class.
Oh, good.
We have students that are brushing up on their reading and writing because they want to continue on to Virginia Western Community College.
Excellent. That is great information. So how can someone enroll?
We push people to our website as the first place, and when they submit their information there, we have all their contact information to start with, and they will receive an email from us with more information, sometimes a phone call or a text, and we will walk them through the registration process depending on what program they're interested in.
That's excellent. Is there anything else that you would like our community to know about the adult education program?
I think any possibility there's so many possibilities for adult students that they might not even be aware of.
Yeah.
And all of our services are free. There's a very small registration fee. It's a great opportunity if you know that you need a little push or a little refresher to come on in, join a class. It's up to you to do the work, but we are definitely here to help whatever students might need.
Wonderful. Absolutely fantastic. Well, Ms. DeCosta, thank you so much for joining me today. We appreciate you joining us on Open Book. Coming next, Mrs. Poland is back along with our Director of Community Engagement, Corey Allder, with great information for families about what they need to know when it comes to their student applying for college and financial aid. You're listening to Open Book. As we round out our first episode, joining me are Assistant Superintendent of Student Services, Hayley Poland, and Director of Family Engagement, Corey Allder, for more information on what families should know when their child is applying to college. Now, as someone whose parents didn't have the opportunity to attend college, we had to find our way. We struggled a bit, right, to know the process of applying to college and what to do. I mean, I actually had to go and pay in person. I didn't know about financial aid. I was unsure. I didn't have that type of information. So, Mrs. Poland, can you just take our parents, our families through what advice do you have for families whose student might be preparing to apply for college? Tell us a little bit about the process.
So we really want our students to come in and work with us in our school counseling offices. If they have questions or concerns, there is so much great opportunity and information out on the internet, but we don't want people to feel like they have to pay for anything. So if they feel like they're getting kind of bombarded with services or free scholarship applications that you have to pay for, please don't do any of that. Reach out to your school counselor, ask questions. We also can assist with fee waivers for applications to college. So please make sure that you're contacting the school counselors and that you're sitting down with them. We sit down with all of our seniors at this time of the school year to make sure that we're working through application processes. What transcripts do you need? How do you send your SAT or ACT scores? What resume do you need? Do you need an essay? Do you need assistance writing an essay? So we will help each of our students through each of those items. It is a huge process, and it takes months, and then you don't hear back for months. So we really want our students to have us assist and help and answer questions.
Special shout out to our counselors and to our teachers. I mean, there's a lot that goes into that college application process, and besides that, all the letters of recommendation and those kinds of things. But for our parents as well, there's a lot of information that comes in the mail. Right? You get bombarded
Yes.
with all of this information that comes into your mailbox, and you just don't know which way to go. So I think it's important for our parents to reach out to our school counselors to help and kind of navigate this process, because even for me as an educator, when my kids went to college, there was a lot to get through, and so I was really appreciative of my kids' teachers and counselors to help us find our way. So we talked about CCAP a little earlier. What are some of the key dates that our families should know about that opportunity?
So CCAP, our Community College Access Program, we have some really great opportunities coming up in December and January for CCAP information nights. So we want all of our families to go and attend. We can assist. There's also some virtual opportunities to participate in that. So please make sure they're going to actually be hosting some at the Envision Center as well. So we want our parents and guardians and our students to attend. And then that application deadline is in February. So we want our students to have all of that information prepared. We will also assist with the FAFSA. That is a big piece of the CCAP application, is making sure that free application for federal student aid is complete. And we will work with our families to get the documents that they need and to complete that. Our community college partners at Virginia Western are wonderful to sit down with families and help them complete that process, because that is a lot. It is really daunting to think about. You open it up and you see all these pages of information that you have to complete. So we want to take away some of that anxiety and angst about completing that. So make sure that you're looking at our Facebook page and our Twitter and Instagram to see those dates and to get those on your calendar and to make plans to attend.
And what do you think about, for the FAFSA, for that free application for student aid? So we might have parents who say, well, I don't think I may need that, or should I fill out that form? I think everybody should fill it out. So, what are your thoughts about that?
Absolutely. It is also a place, especially at some of our four-year partners, that is actually the application for scholarships. So it is a huge piece. The Common Application is also another thing that you might hear about. But between the college application, the Common App, FAFSA, CCAP, VWCC, all these different Hope scholarships, we really want to make sure that we can assist and our families not getting overwhelmed, or our students not getting overwhelmed with the process. But please, please, please complete the FAFSA and make sure that if you need assistance, reach out.
So, Mr. Allder, talk to us about how families can find out about seminars and workshops and help them through this process, and tell us more about family engagement in this college application process.
Well, yes, it is quite the process and can be a little overwhelming. I'm actually a parent of a high school freshman myself, and one thing I would like to say is it's not too early to start. It's almost never too early to start. And one thing that I would recommend is that you stay connected with Roanoke City Public Schools, because that's where you'll get the most current and accurate information. As Ms. Poland just said, reach out to your school counselor. Your schools are the best first starting point. Right. We also have some information on our community engagement webpage on the Roanoke City Public Schools website, where you can see a calendar of events, and we'll keep all of the current FAFSA or application nights, seminars, workshops on that site. And also you can reach out to us at the Community Engagement Office in Roanoke City Public Schools, and we will make sure you're tapped into your schools and the most current resources.
Excellent. Very good. Well, we've reached the end of our first episode of Open Book. Thank you to all of our guests joining us today to talk about college and career readiness. As a reminder, you can subscribe to this podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and you can also listen on the RCPS website. I'm Dr. Verlita White, Superintendent of Roanoke City Public Schools, and your host of Open Book. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next month.